the city lights to the country blue, Woody and Lou got the sports for you. From Boston streets to Kentucky's fields, get ready, folks, for the thrill it yields. Woody and Lou, sports and you, talking games, we love it's true. Every play, every score, let's dive in, it's time for more. Lacing up the boots and calling plays, debates and laughs for all the days. From Fenway Park to Derby Run, sports talk magic just begun. Woody Lou, sports and you, sideline stories coming through. Every cheer, heartbeat soar, tune in now, we'll give you more. Celtics screams to Wildcats roar, touchdowns, goals, and so much more. Grab a seat, enjoy the ride, Woody Lou right by your side.
The views expressed by the hosts are their own and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the Department of Defense, the U.S. government, or any of its agencies. The information provided is for general informational purposes only and does not constitute legal advice. No attorney-client relationship is formed by providing this information, and nothing herein should be relied upon as legal counsel. For legal advice specific to your situation, please consult a qualified attorney. Braxton, we're live.
We are live as the Braves give up a home run to the Jays, making it an 8-1 ball game. Fired up.
I don't even want to talk about baseball right now. The Red Sox are down 14-1 to the Tampa Bay Rays at some high school stadium that I'm watching on MLB TV.
Well, the Braves just got done losing 2 or 3 to the Rays in that high school stadium. So, and we're a staggering 4-11, looking to get to 5-11 if we can maintain this lead. We got Kenny Powers on the bump tonight, so it's going decently. We had some good off.
Flama Blanca.
So yeah, we're back. It's been a while. A lot has happened since we've last talked to Woody Lou Sports and you guys. So a lot to catch up on. It's going to be kind of centric on all the happenings of our Charleston trip and the match, the Masters, and then kind of what's next for the match going forward, Dan.
Yeah, I think it's a good time to comment on this week's episode 9, Iron Men. We made some bold claims during our last stream, feeling pretty good about ourselves for recording 3 consecutive weeks and putting us in the same rarefied air, as Braxton said, with Cal Ripken Jr. We missed last week, but no, we're back this week after hiatus, and we can get right into it. Missed last week. One factor, Braxton licking his wounds after the drumming he experienced in Charleston in the Woody Lou Sports and You first Showdown.
And the thing about attorneys, you always think you can trust them. That's a false statement. The reason we didn't film Sunday like we were supposed to is someone's age caught up to him, and the weekend they had in Charleston did not allow them to record Sunday, and the rest of the week just kind of went to the wayside with getting back in the groove of things. I think that's more accurate.
Yeah, it's pretty accurate. Some people can't handle Charleston, and hand up, I am one of them.
Yeah, and we'll get to that. So I think we just go straight into it, Dan. I mean, the last time we spoke, we were plugging at the match that we were going to have. It's going to be a 36-hole match played across 2 different courses in Charleston. We played at the Westcott, and we played at the Joint Base Charleston Air Force Base course. On the Westcott track, we played the Oak Forest 9 and the Black Robin 9. It's a 27-hole track out there. That was on Friday. And Saturday, we played the Air Force Base. So, yeah, if you followed along at all, I think you know that Dan came out victorious. And there's a lot of factors that contributed to that. Dan being a better golfer than me is not one of those factors. So, as long as we just...
Dude, I'll interrupt. To be fair, this was an absolute pillow fight between two complete hacks. We cannot pretend that either of us... I don't even think we can call ourselves golfers.
Yeah, well, we golf, and we pay a lot of money to golf. So, yeah, I mean, I kind of just want to do a scorecard recap, and we can kind of just rehash some of the memories of the weekend. Before we get to that, kind of that I guess we went up there Thursday. Thursday night after work, we drove up to Charleston. I drove us, and we got in, and we immediately went to my favorite bar in Charleston. I think it might be up there on the power rankings for you, Moe's Crosstown Tavern, where I introduced you to the buffalo chicken wrap, and then I think you alleged like a top 3 wing that you've had, at least recently.
Yeah, those wings came out like we got buffalo spice-wise, good level of spice, but piping hot, like temperature.
I'll drop it down your plate.
They were delicious. No, Moe's does a great wing, a great buffalo wrap, and cold PBR on draft. So
Miller High Life and PBR is a
solid spot.
Yeah, so we started off hot there. Thankfully we had our tea time Friday was at 2:30. So we woke up. We went and got haircuts on campus at the Citadel, which was interesting because
I'm wearing a hat.
Yeah, I got haircuts for 4 years at the Citadel, and we were sitting there, and I was telling Dan as we waited, like who he should go to, who he should avoid. I ended up getting a lady she's a new arrival. She wasn't there when I was in school, but the lady that Dan got when she came out from her smoke break, it said you refuse her service, and Dan did not refuse her service. We ended up. Yeah, I never thought we'd be at the Citadel Barbershop getting an argument with that barber about when the RBC Heritage was versus the Masters versus where they were playing at the Valero that weekend. So it got spicy. We had a lot of sports talk going on with all these cadets just sitting there like, who are these two old guys?
In sports, what were they playing on? They had like one like big screen TV.
They had one TV in there that was new, and it had the Big Ten tournament, and it was like
that's right.
Iowa versus Wisconsin, like a round 1 matchup. And the lady cutting my hair, she was like, "Do you keep up with this at all?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you'll be shocked to know what happens." Like,
should have placed some money on it.
Yeah, like this is nail biting stuff we got going on as the national championship was. This is the night 1 or the Final Four already started. We're in the Final Four.
No. Because remember, we can get to that later. We were watching the Final Four at Uptown Social, and you were locked in.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Okay, so we get our haircuts at the Citadel. Right next to the barbershop is the bookstore. I take Dan to the bookstore. He had to leave with something. He ends up going with the on sale Under Armour Citadel Bill Belichick windbreaker, which was still $90. And
I want to air out how much I paid for my apparel.
And I thought it looked good. I think you wore it for like 5 seconds on the golf course the first day, and then it got too hot for you. But so anyway, we leave there, and I told Dan, I was like, I need to make a change to the bag. I felt like I was one club away from really pouncing on you. So we made a trip to Played Against Sports, which is in Charleston and Mount Pleasant, where I kind of outfitted my first set of clubs in college. And I said I wanted a 7 wood. You thought it was absolutely ludicrous that I'd be adding a club to the bag the day.
Yeah, it's
hours.
Insane. Yeah,
hours before we tee up.
How much you talked leading into this match that you were going to change the bag? Wild to me.
Ended up getting the 7 wood. I Played Against Sports. A $20 7 wood, mind you, but that's $20 I've spent on a golf club for a while. Anyway, we added that to the bag. We get back to the house, we changed, and then it was go time. We get out to Westcott. What was kind of your first impressions of Westcott when we pulled up, Dan?
Well, at first, we got into the parking lot and we got out of the car, and your mom yelled, "Oh, there's Shep from Southern Charm." So I was like, "Oh man, this place is pretty nice." We got some C-list celebrities coming around. I was like, "Oh man, this is a good course in Charleston."
Some dude just got done playing his round, and my mom and dad are trying to chase through the parking lot to get eyes on this guy from Southern Charm.
It wasn't him.
It was not him. Okay.
No.
We had a look-alike, but they were like schoolgirls as excited. It was like Elliot at Walt Disney World, just like giddy as all get out that he might be in the same cart that the Shepherd dude just had. So excitement there off the rip. We get on the range, and I would say I was kind of peering the ball. Dan was doing weird stuff that he was doing. Pretty sure I told Dan at one point after I hit like 10 really solid balls that he was done for.
Yep. You said that.
Yeah. So
braggadocious Braxton, at it as usual.
Felt good going into the first tee box, man. And I think Dan would be lying if he said that on the first hole I didn't have him insanely nervous. Do you want me to tell how the first hole went, Dan?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up the scorecard just so.
I got the scorecard.
I'm just be a fact checker here.
So first tee box, we got a par 4, slight dog leg left. This is on the Oak Forest track at Westcott. We flipped tees. Dan got the box first. I told him that was the last time he'd have that for the day, which was true after the first hole. Dan, where'd your first shot go?
I remember the second day, my first shot, it was not good. First day, when I put that in the rear view so fast, I don't even remember.
Yeah, first day, his first shot, he hits it into the woods, right? We may have found it, but it was in the stuff. I walk up, 3-wood, put that right in the heart of the fairway, about 220. We go and find Dan's ball. He hits one short. I step up. I say, Dan, watch this. I stick one, 15 feet from the pin? Club twirl, walking back. I think Dan was nervous for a second.
I mean, you went up 2 strokes immediately. I tripled the par 4
I 3-putted. I did 3-putt.
You did a lot of that the entire weekend.
So yeah, we leave the first box. I'm up 5-7 of 2 strokes, and then really just a story of the day from there. Really not much more to highlight than the fact that on 2, I put up a snowman. Dan puts up a par, and the rest was kind of history as far as the way that song and dance would go. Dan consistently was either tying or getting me by a stroke every hole. Through the first 9, I hung a 57. Dan hung a 50. I had lost 5 balls and had 23 putts, and Dan had lost 2 balls and had 19 putts for those who had side bets at home. We go down to the Black Robin for the back 9. Not much better. I start off hot with a triple on a par 4. Dan pars it. I immediately snowman. Snowman 11. He triples, gives me some hope. I claw my way through there. I ended up finishing the back 9, 52. Dan 49, got me by 3 strokes. I lost 4 more balls, had 19 putts. Dan lost 2 balls, had 22 putts. So I did beat him putting. So we leave the first day. He has a 10-stroke lead on Friday. Not great is really the best way to put that. I felt optimistic on hole 18 because I'm pretty sure on 18 I parred that par 5, and you may have bogeyed. Yeah, you bogeyed it.
You did par, yeah. You finished up. Actually, the last 3 holes you went par.
Par double par.
Tar double par.
It was a par 3, hung a 5. But I felt good. I went on Instagram. I told everyone at home that was a sign of what was to come tomorrow, and that ended up not coming to fruition as I expected.
And we have Mr. Chris Lewis in the chat. First hole Braxton was Rory on the playoff hole. Then he went Bryson.
Then I went Bryson. That hurts, Dad. What did we do Friday night, Dan? I don't remember.
Friday night. What did we do Friday night? Did we go to a Blind Tiger or was that Thursday? Oh, I don't remember what we did Friday night because I fell asleep on the couch.
You're right. You fell asleep on the couch at 10 o'clock. Me and my dad watched Kill Tony, and you passed out at 10 like an old man. You started shaking your head. You Irish exited on us, just walked upstairs, didn't say goodbye or anything.
I did not, no.
So the next day we played at It's called the Wrenwoods Golf Courses at Point Base, Charleston.
Before we get into this, I want to bring up. So we talked about in the preview of the Showdown match last episode. You said you hated this course. Absolutely hated this course. So tell us how the round went.
I played it once. We get there. The lights were off. So they had no electricity. We were having card problems, getting the internet to connect for the card to pay for our round. They didn't have internet. Dan ended up leaving his card number, just wrote down a piece of paper for the dude to charge at a later date. I don't know if you ever checked that transaction.
I actually should check my credit card. I forgot to do that.
So we pay, and we teed off at 8:30. So we ended up paying around 8:10. We grabbed a small bucket, went to the range, hacked some down there. I'm rolling up to the first tee box. The starter is yelling at 8:20. Where's Lewis? Where's the Lewis 3? I was like, we're right here. And then he looked at some other guy and said, who are you? And he said, we're the 840. And then he had a hard time believing that I was the 830 and that he was the 840. I don't know why it was set. We both were agreeing on what times we were, and the guy just didn't want to hear it. But anyway, we get to the tee box, and pretty sure kind of the same story as the first day. I ended up lacing one into the fairway.
I was nervous. You had a great first tee shot.
And you did what?
I couldn't get off the box. I just couldn't get off the first tee box. It was not. I had the shakes.
Par 5. It started off with par 5 for those. Playing 5-10.
Yeah, it was
5-10 par 5.
It was bad. It was Braxton, after I beat his ass like a drum day one, he plied me with liquor and alcohol the rest of the afternoon and evening, and I was hurting in the morning.
I'm going into the day down 10 strokes. I have nothing to lose. Felt really good on that par 5, especially after I watched Dan top his first 3 shots. But really the story of the whole weekend for me was with Dan playing absolutely terrible. I still hung a 7, and so I doubled, he tripled. Got a stroke back, cut it down to 9. Next hole, par 4, his yips remained. We both doubled, so no blood. Next hole was a par 4 that I parred, and you doubled.
Mm-hmm.
So now we had it down to 7. I guess that's 7, yeah. Next hole, I double a par 5. You hung a 9.
Yep.
So I had it down to 5 strokes. 5 strokes through 5, and that was it. I cut it down to 5 strokes through the first 5 holes on day 2. Dan responds with a big par. I double, triple, double.
Yeah,
double,
I got
triple.
I got some hair of the dog in me. A little swing oil around the 6th hole, and yeah, he cut it to 5. I was nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, I might blow a 10-stroke lead. Very within my capabilities to do that, but thankfully rebounded after shooting a 9 on the par 5 to get that par and get 2 strokes back. And then, as Braxton said, the rest is history.
And the best thing about your quad on that par 5 is you lost 2 balls, but you 1-putted.
That's right.
So at least when you got on there, you were able to stick it. We in that front 9 at 53 apiece. We both lost 3 balls. I had 19 putts to his 16. So going to the back 9, still down 10 strokes. And then,
do you remember 10? Hole 10?
Was that the backyard?
No, that was when I
par 5.
I striped the drive, and then I said, "Hey, watch this," with the 3-wood, and that's when I think I sucked the soul out of you.
Well, after you said watch this with the 3-wood, you then sculled your chip across the green to the backside, and we still both double bogeyed.
Yeah, we did.
No, but back 9. I mean, I'm not going to bore you with it. I finished 55. He shot a 51. I shot a 108, which was 1 stroke better than at Westcott. I only had 4 lost balls on the day, but the real number that's kind of haunting me, and this is a bad number for me, is the 40 putts. When I don't know if it's my dad or someone at work said, what was kind of the difference in Dan beating you? And I said, well, probably the 40 putts on day 2. That's never going to help because 40 to his 33, that's 7 strokes right there. Same thing for the day before. So you just destroyed me on the green.
Yeah, and that was if I was going to keep it close, that's where I knew I lose strokes is the short game. Well, I lose strokes everywhere, but as we said, especially the short game. So just, not trying to be a hero on like the long putts and just get it close for the tap in 2 putt.
What's frustrating?
Are you seeing the chat? So yeah, Gavin 40. Gavin. And then Miss Amy Lewis, is that when he picked up his ball and chucked it into the wood line? So
there was one hole that I 3-putted that I had no business 3-putting for like 7 feet, and I did that ball. It ended up leaving the bag after it finally dropped.
And you were just cursing our brothers in arms, the chair force, the entire round. You hate that course.
So the thing at this course is you tee off right by the clubhouse like a normal golf course. There is no turn. So like your turn is to get to hole 10 after 9, you have to drive by like 1, 6, 5. There's like 3 holes you just drive down the fairway and the tee boxes and the greens. Like you're just interrupting people's games. It's not paved, it's just gravel. You're just bumping up and down. And then you come to this just random dogleg right par 5 to start 10. There's just no rhyme or reason. You finish the round on 18, same thing. You got a quarter-mile drive down the gravel through through like 6 holes to get to the tee, get back to the clubhouse. It's just stupid. I don't know what engineers built it, but they were just not great.
I think it was hole 13 or 14. We were in the woods together in our cart, and you looked at me. I'm never playing here again. Is that you're not going to do it?
No, Gavin in the chat, I bladed a ball over the green and smoked a Chevy Equinox. Did you let that walk, or did you leave a note or anything, Gavin? You know more about that.
Gavin, this isn't a legal podcast. That's an assumption of risk on the Chevy Equinox, so don't worry about that. You park near a golf course, you might get hit.
Gosh, me and Gavin have our work for us at Lake Buena Vista, but the thing that's frustrating, Dan, and I stick by this, and this is part of just being a hack of a golfer, is if I played every hole like I played that very first hole that day, just for Gur, and then let's pretend I just 2-putted instead of 3-putted from 15 feet, I would be like a 12. But I'm not. And I'm like a 26. So it's just frustrating. 7 wood did me well. And before you're like, oh, hey, Braxton sucks at golf. The trophy's in my office right now. The trophy's at the office, but I got a $60 gift card and a trophy for winning the 2025 AER championship that shows that I'm not terrible at golf. Reigning champion, Gavin. Well, I hit the bunker lip and bounced on the road, then hit it. I did go check. Nothing was dented, so I let it go. Good on you for checking. There's a hole out there at the joint base that if you slice the ball, you're going to nail a car. Like, it's really bad. And I hit one in the road. And my dad texted me. He went back and played that course after we played, and he said he hit one over there. And when they were leaving the course, he saw the ball on the road as they were driving out. So it's better than being in the person's kitchen like you were at St. Simon's, Gavin. You ruined someone's waffles that morning. So anyway, Dan, you won. Congratulations.
Thank you. I won. A lot of pride. We did not follow through on the bet that we were supposed to do for the 999 challenge. Loser had to go ahead.
But we did go to the Rivers Dog game. That was a fun time. We were foul ball territory.
Absolutely blast.
Beers were fine. Don't ask for liquor without ice. That's a big no-no there for if you're ever planning on going to a River Dogs game. But no, it was good. We ended up – so to go celebrate, we hit the bars. We ended up going to Uptown Social, which was my favorite bar when I was in college. I'm now almost 28, and Dan is like 36.
Yes.
So that went a way. But the big takeaway is they had the not Auburn. It was Duke Houston.
Duke Houston was the second game.
They had the Duke Houston game on, and I watched every second of it. And I kept telling Dan that they were going to win, and he didn't believe me. But I stayed glued to that game. We watched Houston. Just watch poor Cooper Flagg, who I've always said on this podcast, never been worried about Cooper Flagg. I've never been less concerned with Cooper Flagg because when it matters, he's going to choke. Congrats to him, though. He didn't slip this time. He did get the shot off, but he just got off front iron. Which ultimately led
Kelvin
to
Sampson was not worried about Cooper Flagg either.
No, which obviously led to Houston going and meeting Florida national championship. And Florida Gators did win, so number 3 for Florida. So congrats on that. And my dad said $50 offer still stands on the 7-wood.
I think you should still have that straight up. Well, maybe not straight up, but you take his really nice. I'm talking a sweatshirt, but that pullover hoodie.
Yeah,
maybe throw in some River Dog tickets. That's a good trade.
Yeah. 7-wood stay in the back. I hit the 7-wood really well in the scramble the other day. I gave our team some solid safety shots so that Kulu could get free. Now, speaking of the scramble we had, I played with Kulu and Serpico, who are both. Kulu's a scratch golfer. Serpico might be like a 3 to 5 handicap.
It's definitely single digit.
And they have offered up their services. And before you leave, Dan, they want us to do a rematch, and they want to be on the bags. Adding fuel to the fire. They don't want to decide who's on whose bag. They want it to be a T-flip on the first box. So there's no bias. Just on the first box, we T-flip for who gets box and who gets who for caddy. And they want to come out. We're going to do it on TBC TC,
Your home course?
My home track.
Yeah.
You could argue it's your home track, too, since you're closest to it at all times during the workday.
That's true. I am closer to it. And we both played. I mean, I've played at least 20 times over the
I would
course
say
of,
that our scores on TBC TC would more accurately depict the level of golfer we are on a consistent basis, since it's more in line with the type of golf courses that we play consistently.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah, it'll be a good match. We know the course well. We'll have 2 knowledgeable caddies. A lot of chirping.
Is this you accepting, by the way?
Oh, absolutely. I would never turn down a challenge.
Now, will you also accept that this is a double or nothing scenario where whoever wins this is the actual better golfer, and we'll have to proclaim that on the show?
Yeah, I'm not scared.
So whoever wins the final match will have to say the other person is the superior golfer. Superior hack.
Superior hack. Yeah, we cannot call ourselves golfers, but yeah, absolutely. Well, it'll be basically, who is the tallest little person.
Sure. Hey, Gavin, the fact that you're asking me that question right now is upsetting because I want you to know you're getting tournament Braxton because I'm going to be freed up down there at Disney World. I've already reconned it on 18 birdies 50 times. I know every body of water I'm going to avoid, not hit into. And God knows we got to keep you out of the bunker because people's kitchens and cars are not safe if you're in a bunker, Gavin. So we'll keep you out of those, and we're going to
Gavin, does he not like the beach? Is he more of like a pool guy?
Well, so Gavin has the wrong mindset right now because he texted me and said he went and played the other day and he was just finding every fairway with his driver, but nothing else worked. And I was like, you're the perfect partner for me because I can't find anything with my driver, but I'm pretty good with an iron in my hands. Putting is going to be a joint effort, but I think we're going to do good down there, especially with both of our dads playing, which you saw my dad play for 2 rounds. And
it was a pleasure playing with Mr. Chris Lewis. I had a very fun time with the Lewises.
I feel like the anger level across all 4 of us is going to be the words coming out of those 2 carts are going to be not safe for work. We could not live stream those 2 carts probably. My bunker shots are nice now. That's good, Gavin. You just keep grinding, dude. Hashtag timing.
So we've been talking about us hacking around the golf course. Shall we get into the real golfers and the Masters tournament, the 89th Masters that happened this past weekend?
Yes. Before that, though, I need you to look at your calendar and just get back to me on a weekend that works for you so that we can deconflict schedules.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't want you to dodge this, just like we dodge our shows because we get a little tired. Yeah, so the Masters. I mean, we can talk about the whole weekend. I think really the only thing that people care about is that Saturday night going into Sunday, knowing that you had Bryson and Rory going in, final pairing. Bryson finished on that awesome birdie on 18 on Saturday to secure that final grouping with Rory, and it was just a complete rematch from last year. Obviously, even Bryson said it. Rory handed him the major last year. Bryson didn't take it from him. That was on Rory. Couldn't make putts, but it was awesome. The coverage that night, watching Bryson on the range until like 9:30. Then
He's a psychopath.
Then him walking around Airbnbs in Augusta and just going to people's backyards and putting balls with random fans. Like it was perfect because you knew Rory was in his house, probably not talking to his wife or daughter, just in his bubble as he proclaims. And you go into Sunday, and I don't think I've ever felt like this really until Sunday, but it felt bigger than like a Super Bowl or really any World Series, like whatever. It felt so big, and I was so into it. After the first hole, watching Rory double, Bryson pars it. I think Bryson birdies the next. I think he birdies 2 or 3. Rory stays square. He ends up taking the lead. I think he got it down to 11. I think Bryson got to 11 under. Rory got to 10. Because Bryson got to 11.
Yep.
On after 2, Rory's down to 10. I thought we were going to have a ball game, and I thought it was going to play out the way that I had originally anticipated. But then from there, it really just everything went in Rory's way.
Sorta. I mean, he was still he was struggling for most of the round, and at one point, I believe Aberg got within 1 stroke after Bryson started to fade. But I mean, what's really impressive is Rory, for the first time ever, overcame 4 double bogeys.
First person ever win with 4 double bogeys, correct?
Yep. Exactly. It was the first playoff since 2017, which Justin Rose was in with Sergio Garcia, I believe.
Yes.
So that was super exciting. I mean, two guys going into the playoff that, I mean, obviously everyone wanted Rory to win, to complete the career Grand Slam, but Rosie is also one of the most, fan favorite, beloved golfers on tour. And if he were, people would be pretty upset and frustrated. Rory choke again would be the narrative. Justin Rose getting his 2nd major championship at, I think he's 45 years old, also would have been a great champion to watch don the green jacket.
And Thursday, Friday, it was Rosie's tournament.
Yeah, he was the 36-hole leader.
It might have been the Miller Lights talking, but whenever he finished his round, he went back out to the range. Like, I didn't really have faith in Rory, but when I saw him out in the range, I was like, that might be a little, unnecessary, because I really thought Rory was going to secure it. And as soon as on 18, when he found the bunker, I was like, I hope Justin's still on the range getting some strokes in, because I'm just kind of on those bunkers on 18 is really difficult. And it does happen. He ends up forcing the playoff by just letting Rory do Rory's thing. And going into the 18th, the replay of it, I was hoping that we'd get hole 10 back. I wanted to see scratch on 18. I wanted it to go to a second hole and to see really who had the mental fortitude. But Rory gets it. I thought CBS was diabolical when they put on the graphic for his final putt. It said for the career Grand Slam. It didn't say for Brady. It said for the career Grand Slam. And I was like, that's nuts. But he made it. He started crying like a baby, knees down, hugged his wife, hugged his daughter, hugged everybody. Notably hugged Justin Rose's wife longer than anyone else that he hugged, which I thought was interesting. I don't know, after you and me.
What's her name? Balianis? Yeah, you didn't hug her the longest?
It'd be like you and me. It's like you and me playing, you winning, you hugging your girlfriend for a minute, and then you and Kaylee just hugging for 5. What are we doing here? Get off my wife, dude. I don't care how close you are. Just lost a green jacket.
What I'm excited to see.
He gets it.
Go ahead.
No, you're good.
What I'm excited to see is now that he's got that, massive gorilla off his back of not just completing the career Grand Slam, but getting the first major win in 11 years is if now he just, has that out of his mind and is able to play, and what he can do in tournaments going forward.
Yeah, me and Chris Lynch and Kulu talked about it today. Like, we could be on the precipice of like a 3-year just obnoxious run for him. I'd like to see him play in the Heritage, but I don't think he is. He was talking about going back to Ireland and seeing family. The head rub on that hug was not okay. Yeah, the whole hug. I thought people weren't talking about the hug enough. Justin Rose's wife. I thought it was weird. It would be less weird if that was like his best friend's wife, that he didn't just play in the playoff. Like him playing him in the playoff it's just, I don't know, it's weird.
It's kind of like an alpha move, like just, being dominant, asserting his dominance.
I would have to, I wouldn't be friends anymore. No, but yeah, it's good. I think he could be dangerous, but the same thing with Rory. I mean, he can have an 11-year drought. Yeah, he got the Masters, but we were saying the same thing 11 years ago. So, but he's the sixth person to get the career Grand Slam. Took him longer than the other 5. I think the second longest was 3 attempts. Took him 11. So we'll see. I'm fired up for the Heritage this weekend. I don't know if they published it's an elevated event now to get people to play in it. But I'm
signature event.
I like those.
It's a smart move, like to do it the week, because I mean the Masters, like all these guys, get built up for the Masters, and that's a major, obviously, and then not many of them are going to play. You take an off week, refigure it out after, all of them are going to go home disappointed that don't win. So having the PGA making these signature events definitely spurred on by the LIV tour and the LIV purses to get players to, play in these events that they probably wouldn't in years past. And it's a great track and a great venue in Hilton Head, Sea Pines. Harbor Town is an absolutely gorgeous course.
I don't know if Rory's going to play. Probably not. I don't think he's going to do what Scotty did last year, which was super impressive. But it was Scotty. Person to look out for. I don't know, and this is a lot of pre-show prep, but I don't know if he's playing. But Max Homa made his first cut since last July at the Masters. I'd be really interested to see if he found something this weekend. If he's able to go and perform next week if he was to play. I've been really wanting Homa to start playing some better golf. He's been an absolute head case, almost comparable to my level of head case here recently, but big Max Homa guy. I'd really like to see him come out and play.
I think he is playing. Quick Google search. I believe Homa is going to be in the field next week. And yeah, that's a wild stat that's
just like
really,
July.
He hasn't made a cut since July?
Since last July. I don't know what tournament it was in, but it was last July.
That's wild.
He's not been playing good golf. And my favorite thing about him is every time he misses a cut, he just goes to Instagram and just hates on himself about another cut missed.
He has plus 10,000. You want to put some money on him? We win a lot.
Speaking of money, Ludwig Oberg lost $500,000 for that. Was it triple he hung on? Was it 17 or 18?
Yep.
Yeah, so he lost $500,000 on that.
And it was an absolutely gorgeous 4 days in Augusta. I mean, we felt it here in Savannah. It was, talk about just 4 amazing April days that they had for the tournament. And the course, as always, looked gorgeous. Just a great weekend for golf. And I was listening to Live at the Masters Sunday morning, just getting ready for the showdown between Rory and Bryson. And I think they were right in commenting that this was the most anticipated golf major since probably Tiger Woods in 2001 when he was going for the all 4 in the same year. Like that level of anticipation.
And after the way Rory was in contention going to Sunday, I had a feeling that if he didn't get it, that might have been his last real opportunity. I think he would have been too much in his head about it. Because even if you've watched the last 3 seasons of Full Swing, every Rory angle has been him talking about the Masters. Like it's obviously in the forefront of his mind. And if he would have went out there and especially say Justin Rose didn't pull it off or Ludwig didn't pull it off, if he would have actually lost to Bryson, who
again
is the literal complete 180 opposite of Rory in all aspects of golf and just, I think, being a human being, which that's not saying Bryson's. Bryson's an awesome guy. But just for him mentally to lose to his polar opposite and a live guy at that would really have eaten him up in a way that I think would have shook him for a while, even though he is the rule number 2.
Doing that, exactly. Doing that, like if it was the same, and it almost was the same fashion as the U.S. Open last year, to do that twice to, I don't think they consider themselves rivals, but yeah, the whole like PGA live angle and just very, very different guys. Yeah, I could see it, just Rory not recovering from that.
Did you love or hate the fact that Rory didn't talk to Bryson the whole day? I kind of loved it.
I kind of loved it too.
That's old school.
I think it's like hate, and I think we need more of that in sport again.
I love when Bryson got interviewed. And they're like, well, what was Rory kind of talking about today out there? He's like, I don't know. You wouldn't speak to me. I was like, that's old school Tiger. Like, I'm here to win. I'm here to beat you. Like, we don't have anything to talk about.
Uh-oh. We just lost Braxton. What's going on here? Uh-oh. Well, this is our first real live meltdown technology-wise. I think we're getting them back here. I'll just once we wait for Braxton, if anyone in the chat wants to engage any questions you have about sport this weekend or about our Charleston weekend, we'll give Braxton a minute here to rejoin the video chat. What is going on? This is embarrassing. Yeah, Lewis, I agree. Took his ball and went home. No, it was a fun matchup we had. Showdown in Charleston. Great hosts, great weather, great weekend. He was a pretty sad panda. I will say that after going down 10 strokes on day one, but we had a good time and a great time at the River Dogs game. All right, I think we're getting them back. All right, Braxton, can you? Oh, no. No, there were. There's a lot of bridal parties that were going on in Charleston, and we had a pretty good time on King Street. Bar hopping, Uptown Social that's an experience, and it's one that I'm probably 12 years too old for. We tried to do the Have You Met Dan, but I would say both of us were pretty locked in on the final 4 games that we're playing. Braxton is saying, "Let me back in." I don't. You can't get back in? All right. We'll figure this out. This is embarrassing. Okay. I'm going to send you the link in the email again, Braxton. Do you have the password? This is what happens when you go live. Braxton, we have you back. All right. So we have Braxton back. I can hear you. Yeah, we're getting you back on the stream, Braxton. I can hear you. I don't know what's going on with your Wi-Fi. Is everything good on? I'm letting you in. You're coming back in. Okay, what's going on here? Where is producer Colin? It's a great question. Okay. All right, 1 second, Braxton. We're gonna get you back in here. All right. Thank you to great award-winning listeners for patience while we deal with these technical difficulties. We are getting Braxton back in the chat. I don't know why your video is not showing up. There we are. We got him back. All right, Braxton, you are back. Braxton, what's going on? Can you hear us, Braxton? He's texting.
Am I in?
Mr. Lewis, over under 3 times.
I can't see anything. Can you hear me?
That's an over. Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, you're back. Yeah, you can't hear me?
Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you. All right, 1 second.
Let in.
You're back in. Oh, this is bad.
I can't see anything or hear you. I don't know if you're talking to me.
I'm talking to you. Everyone can hear me. They can hear you too.
You can hear me.
Yes, I can.
All right. Let me in, dude.
I think your internet might be.
That's fine. That's fine.
You can't see anything.
You know what? I can't hear you, so I'm just going to talk, and you can't interrupt me. I saw some really good comments in the chat I wanted to talk about. Anthony Rizzo, great name, by the way. I bet you have a lot of potential in life. Probably hit a baseball pretty good. Was Charleston a practice run for what's to come in Nashville? I hope not. I hope it's not, because Dan has so much potential, and Dan, I feel like there's some opportunities that you let go to the wayside. Would you care to comment on that? Well, I can't hear you.
You're coming in like you're underwater. All right. I think we're gonna have to. Oh boy. Come back later at a later date live. This is embarrassing. This is not a good showing for Woody Lewis Sports and You. I know everyone can hear and see me. I'm not sure what's going on over at Braxton's setup. You're coming in clear. Oh boy. All right. Well, we'll
more on Colin later.
Well, yeah, we'll send out on the socials what's going on, and we apologize for the technical difficulties this evening. Hopefully, we'll come back at some point this week, but if not, have a great week and a great Easter, everyone. And we appreciate the support. Oh man, have a good one.